Welcome to the Quick Stop Formula One podcast. My name is Nyasha, and you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. Joining me, as always, is co-host, and co-founder, Thandie. How's it going?
Thandie. Hi guys. Hi guys. Welcome to the Quick Stop F1 show where me and Nyasha give you all the info on the Formula One. It's a Monday. We are recording on a Monday.
Yeah, we are recording. Yeah. Summer's got the best of us. We're not going to lie. When we said we were going to do a Formula One podcast, we didn't think
I'm boiling. I'm sweating.
Yeah, we've been going out. We've been getting drunk.
This 3-week run has killed us.
It's been horrible. It's been bad. But look, it's not just us on the pod today. We have got a very special guest from TF1 show. It is Tinus. How's it going?
Hello. Oh, how exciting for everyone involved. Yes, applause. I'm very excited to be here, guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Love it.
No worries. And for those who don't know you, how would you describe yourself? What do you do?
What do? I talk a lot of rubbish. That's probably my biggest skill.
Welcome here.
I watch a lot of motorsport.
Nice.
That's another skill I have. So, I mean, those are my 2 qualifications that I need to be on this podcast, right? I think.
Pacifying colours.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And that's me.
Wicked. No, thank you so much for coming on, bro. But I guess before we get into it, some of you may or may not know that it was Thandie's birthday this weekend. More rounds of applause for Thandie.
Yay!
With the air horns as well. Give me some of that.
Yes, what a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
I am so happy to finally turn 18 and have my first legal break.
Pardon? What?
To finally turn 18.
Okay, happy 18th birthday, Thandie. How was your birthday weekend?
Boozy, very boozy. The match was on, Formula One was on. I had to drink my sorrows away, and it was.
Yeah, and that's fine. And look, I feel you on that one. So, guys, we are here to talk about the Austrian Grand Prix. I'll start with you, Tinus. How did you find the Austrian Grand Prix? Did you actually know, before we get into the Grand Prix, there was some big news? There was some pretty big news, Tinus. We heard that Lewis Hamilton, as well as being absolute drip master on race day weekend, he's looking so good these days. He signed a 2-year contract.
What a king! You're all so excited to see it.
Round of applause for Lewis Hamilton, actually, on a 2-year contract. What do you make of the 2-year contract? It's been sorted out a lot earlier than the last contract, which was actually just announced 5 months ago in February. So they've definitely been a lot more organised. But I guess, what do you think about the fact that it's 2 years? They've got it done early. What do you think it means?
I think it can only mean good things. I think it means Lewis is here to stay. I think he's really enjoying himself. He's liking the battle that he's in at the moment. I think he's keen to try out the new regs with the new cars. I think he's curious to see how that's going to go. And I think he's just in the most amazing position where he's at this incredible team. He's so well embedded. The team wants him. He wants the team. He has nothing left to prove. He has 7 world championships. He could just go out there and fight and drive and live his best life. And I really think that's why he got this contract done so quickly, because honestly, if he's still enjoying what he's doing, it's an easy decision, I think, for him. So, very, very happy to see him extend. So 2 more years of Lewis Hamilton, it can't be a bad thing.
It can't. I was a little bit scared that it might be his last year, I'm not going to lie. So to see him pen a new contract was really good. Thandie, you were pretty thirsty over Lewis last week. Are you happy that there's more Roscoe and Lewis content?
Do you know what? What did he hit in the ground? Do you know what? Okay, I'm so happy for my brethren. I'm really, really happy for Lewis. I mean, going off everything we've just been speaking about, he's embedded in that team. The team want him. He wants the team. He's comfortable. It's exciting to see what's coming for this exciting next year. But also, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I bet we all went,
Yes.
Yeah.
when we saw that. Because that would have been embarrassing. Also, I couldn't see Lewis go outside, and
no,
thank God for that.
for sure.
Yeah.
It has been a tough season for Lewis, but I think no matter what people may say, I don't attribute it to him as a driver. I think we can clearly see that he's not struggling because maybe he's hit his peak, and maybe
it's not like he's going slowly.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still driving the wheels of that car. He's still, I would say, comfortably doing better than Bottas. And I
high
think,
bar that is.
High
bar.
The high bar. Look, you got to be your teammate. So no, but you're right. So look, I'm really happy that he signed a new contract, and I guess one question that I'll put to both of you. Do you think it's an equal relationship, or do you think one party needs the other more than the other one? So does Lewis Hamilton need Mercedes more than Mercedes need Lewis Hamilton, or do you think it's the other way around? Or is it parity? Or is it just like a match made in heaven?
I've changed my mind on this recently. I actually think now, given where we are or where they are, Mercedes needs Lewis more than he needs them at this point in time. I think, as I said, Lewis doesn't really need F1 other than he loves it and he enjoys it and he's having a good time. He has nothing left to prove. He has won everything there is to win. He has multiple banks probably filled with his money. There isn't much that he needs. And Mercedes, especially going into a new reg change, you underestimate how on the ball Lewis is with everything around just going quickly. He is on top of getting that car to do what he wants it to do, getting that car developed. I mean, the car they had last year, that W11, that incredible culmination almost of the domination that they had, that was all Lewis driving to fix the imperfections that the previous generation of those cars had. And he's gotten so good at understanding these cars, at driving the team, the tires, how he's mastered them. He's just such an all-round package now. And I think if you looking at how good some of the other teams' driver lineups are now, if you look at Red Bull, if you look at Ferrari, if Ferrari can get their ducks in a row, if you look at McLaren, you need a driver at the top of his game. You need a once-in-a-generation driver to compete at the moment in F1. And I think Hamilton is that driver for Mercedes.
100%. Do you agree, Thandie?
100%. He is what Kobe is to the Lakers.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
He is. He's literally the poster boy. They need him, man. They need him. I don't know what sort of... I would love to have been a fly on the wall when the contract was being signed and they were like, Lewis, please stay. We need you. You know what I mean? Because that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, man. I reckon Toto saw how bad the team was this year and said, look, okay, here's the extra O you're asking for. Just please sign that contract.
Here's the extra bag.
Please.
Okay, Lewis said he wants it in cash.
Oh my god! Look, congratulations to Lewis Hamilton. If anyone deserves a bumper contract, it is him. He's like I say, he's deserved it, and he has been the flagship driver of the whole sport. So to see him in a sport for 2 more years is great. So we rolled into the weekend. Austrian Grand Prix. We have another resounding victory for Max Verstappen and Red Bull, probably even more dominant than they were last week, which felt pretty bloody dominant. So I guess before we get into the stars and the donkeys, in general, what did you make of of the race itself as a spectacle. I feel like it was a bit more entertaining than Austria 1 or the Styrian Grand Prix, just maybe because of all the penalties and the safety car. But what did you make of the race itself?
Oh, sure, I go. Thandie, you go first.
Okay,
Thandie, sorry.
so
Yeah.
did anyone note how we hardly ever saw Max the whole race? He was just gone, guys.
He's gone, mate, wasn't he?
He was living his
gone.
best life.
He was
Literally,
living.
not a care in the world. His skin was clear. His hair was
The wind
silky.
was rushing through man's head. We hardly saw him.
COVID-19 in Max Verstappen's world. It was just...
Like, where's Max? And everyone just be like, he's there, but you know, he's ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's gone. Man was gone.
Absolutely.
Do you think Red Bull's the faster car, guys?
At this point, I mean, I would love to hear a convincing argument for otherwise.
Okay, you know what? I've seen people try it, you know, and I've seen people with their agendas and the things that they push. So let me say what they're saying. Some people are saying that if you take the performance of Perez, so that both Mercedes are qualifying, you know, this race they qualified, I think, behind Perez, didn't they? But you know, they're saying that the two Mercedes are most of the time qualifying ahead of Perez. So the ultimate pace of the car is higher because the two cars are higher than Perez. But I'm of the opinion that you can't judge how quick a car is by the slowest driver. But that's just me. But that is like a theory that some people on Twitter are overzealous Verstappen and Red Bull fans like to put forward. Do you guys, I guess, Thandie, does that answer your question?
I guess.
She sounds very convinced.
Yeah,
I guess.
I don't personally. I don't think it's applicable because because Max is running away with this, and like, you know, he's pulling out. It is not normal. I don't care how good a driver you are. It's not normal for you to be able to build up like a 35-second lead over the car that's in second.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that. Like, it is not normal. And for you to be doing that to Lewis Hamilton, no matter how bad you think he is, like, for him to be able to pit like a few laps from the end and still come out 6 seconds ahead, like, that is ridiculous. And nothing happened. Like, it's not like there was, like, you know, other than Lando's penalty, like, that was all pace. So, you know, it's very clearly the fastest car. And I think Red Bull should be applauded for that.
Yeah, I mean, that is the goal, right? You want to have the fastest car.
Yeah, like, I
don't understand why people are upset if we say, oh, look,
they
Red
really
Bull, they're
come
the
for
fastest
us.
now. That was the goal.
That's what you guys wanted this whole time. Take it.
You know what these people on Twitter should do? Is they must go to Milton Keynes in the Red Bull factory in front of all of the hundreds of engineers that have probably neglected their families, their health, their well-being to get this Red Bull in the position that it is now. And I want those guys to stand in front of them, look them in the eye, their dead, soulless, tired eyes, and tell them, actually, your car isn't that quick. Mercedes did the better job.
It's actually not that quick.
Actually,
it's all down to Max. Sorry, guys. If it wasn't for Max, you would be in the dump. That's what I want them to say. Because,
all those...
No,
all those children whose parents haven't put them to bed in years.
Yes.
Tell them.
Let's give Red Bull the kudos they deserve. I mean, they took advantage of the strange situation with the regulations. They did everything they should have, and now they have a very quick car. And now it's up to Mercedes to hustle something with their car or draw a line in the sand and say, you know what, it is what it is. We'll come back next year.
Yeah. I couldn't put it any better myself. Look, Thandie, it's the fastest car. Tinus, I can't.
See, I knew that. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that.
Thank you.
Thanks. Make sure you let them know. But I guess, you know what? Whilst on the subject, I will start. My driver of the day is Max Verstappen. I know it's boring, but I'm going to say it. I think, like, as good as this car is, if last week was scary, like, this week was, like, he is a machine. And the way that he's driving that car, this was the week I was like, wow. I always held like a little candle. And look, Mercedes is supposed to be bringing upgrades next race, which they say will help widen the setup window, which hopefully will be able to help them to get the tires warmed up. And there's a small engine. I guess the same thing Red Bull has done with like being able to run a higher engine mode without reliability issues. So this could come back. But the way things are going now, he would have won 5 in a row if it wasn't for the blowout in Baku. He is now the complete package. And it's
I know that
crazy.
took a lot. I know that took a lot, Nyasha.
Look at him.
I really watched, I watched the chip fall from his shoulder. I watched him take a massive swallow. I hear it, bro. I feel you. It was hard for me. It was hard for me too. I hear it.
And the thing is, I don't want to beef with Verstappen, Pat, because like I get it. Like Verstappen is good, but you can big Verstappen up without bringing Lewis down, and that's the only thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Like your favorite driver is in the fastest car, and he's driving at a level we haven't seen. Since Lewis last year. Like, you know, and I think there was periods last year where Lewis was just driving the absolute wheels off that Mercedes to a level that we haven't seen before. Some of the performances, Turkey comes to mind, and I think Portugal when he charged Bottas down and won by like
Spain.
Seconds or so. Spain this year, as well. So he's just he's doing well, and I think it would, if I was betting, I'd be really hard to bet against Verstappen to win. But I guess, Tinus, what did you think of Verstappen's performance? I guess I know we spoke about Red Bull, but I guess Verstappen himself, is this Verstappen's to throw away now?
I would think so. So I'm of the opinion that Verstappen is driving incredibly well. There's nothing you can take away from how well he's doing. And you mentioned the upgrades that Mercedes is bringing, but I don't know if you've seen this picture. It used to sort of make its way around Twitter a couple of years ago. But there's like this massive burning building, and then there's a guy standing next to the building with a palm leaf, and he's like fanning it, trying to put it out. I feel that is the Mercedes upgrade that's coming in Silverstone. Like there's a palm leaf with good intentions. But I don't know how well it's gonna. That's
like
go.
The only bit of hope we have.
Yeah. I just think that the issue that Mercedes has is the Red Bull works everywhere. We've not been to enough tracks where the Red Bull is going to be fast, doesn't matter where we go. Sometimes the Mercedes is as quick.
Yeah,
we've seen that in Portugal and Spain, where it was more or less in the same WhatsApp group and it was close. Yeah. But then where the Red Bull is good and the Mercedes isn't, then it's like Monaco or what we saw in Austria, these two races. Like, so I feel best case at the moment for Mercedes is that it's going to be close, which means whenever it is close, Hamilton's going to have to pull the cat out of the bag every single time and try and just put Max every time. And I just don't it's just not possible. I think if both of them are operating at a level as high as that, like Max is going to sometimes, sneak ahead of Lewis when it's close between the two of them. It's just the way it is. And that's why I'm saying I think what could be the saving grace for Mercedes, and that's because they have shown in the past they have this consistency and they have this ability over many championships, is when we get to reliability, especially with the engine. Honda hasn't had a season yet where they haven't had to replace engines and take grid penalties where they start back with the grid. I mean, they do it every year around Monza time, where they say, okay, well, we need to take a grid penalty. We need to replace our engine. So let's take the pain at Monza where we weren't expected to do well anyway. Where Mercedes can actually, on their engine allocation, on the 3 engines that they have made it through without having any major engine issues for the last 2 years. So I think that is maybe a bit of a hidden advantage that Mercedes might still have. Because, I mean, if Hamilton can keep it close enough, where it's about, a gap like 25 points or so, there might be a chance there if Red Bull does end up struggling with reliability later on in the season.
We are clutching at straws,
Literally,
Thandie. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
I just feel like the Mercedes team, as Tinus was saying, it is that palm leaf, but it's also that meme with the dog and he's sat in the kitchen and it's
this is fine.
Like, this is fine.
Yeah, it's not fine.
This is fine.
It was like, I mean, if you all appreciate Toto, I don't know if you guys watched sort of the post-race of yesterday. Toto Wolff, with a straight face, sat in front of the world's press, and he said, yes, we might have lost this race by about 36 seconds, but this was actually a positive race for us. Yeah. And I was sitting there going like, that's some high-level, advanced grade math that has gone on in Toto's head to justify why this is a positive weekend for them, because I'm inclined to say after Monaco, this has probably been their worst weekend.
I definitely think Mercedes win on media training. They always learn to just...
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, it's mad. Even they're like, send us your questions for the debrief. Where's the place in the car? What do you mean? Only one question.
No.
They're so slick with it. They're so slick. So it's like, we're going to march into Silverstone and we're going to have a 1-2 win by 30 seconds. I'm like,
you said March.
That's the right attitude.
To Wimbledon. Yeah. All right, so what are you doing?
You don't pull the wool over my eye. I can see how he got cheesy now because he's a smooth talker, Like, I get it. I'll take the sweet nothings, Toto. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Unbelievable.
You know what? He had us in the first half. When he told us, there's no changes. I keep going back to this guy because I was like, Toto. When he was like, there's no changes being made, I was like, okay.
We're all here playing checkers. Toto is playing 4D chess over there. At Mercedes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Look, we will see if there's any. I guess. Look, if we carry on this level, hard to see anyone other than Verstappen and Red Bull running away with this. It's a 30-point gap, 32-point gap.
Yeah, it's big now.
So we're now over a race win. Like it's not, and I guess we'll start to point to, France, Mercedes should have won that race. The pit stop errors, that's cost them. Lewis is going to take some kind of blame for the Baku brake magic incident. Now, these are two incidents where if we'd reversed that, we're looking at a much closer championship. Yeah. So, or even Lewis potentially still in the lead. So, it's Mercedes have. Red Bull have taken advantage of this period, and let's see where it goes. But I don't want to talk about those guys anymore, Tinus. What is who's your star driver of the day?
I'm gonna say Lando. I literally thought about this, and I have not one piece of criticism to give him. Not one. Max, I had one criticism, and he messed up his quali run, his final lap in qualifying.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
I think it was a bit too close for comfort with Lando. Lando could have stolen pole there, I think.
Yeah, he could have.
But Lando was just unreal this weekend again in qualifying and in the race. I mean, he was 1.5 seconds behind Bottas at the end of the race? Yeah. Which is like insane because usually, we've seen the McLarens and occasionally the Ferraris get close in quali. But then in the race, the Red Bulls and the Mercedes just drive off into the distance. And here Lando went and said no. First kept Lewis behind him for about 20 laps. And then, it's just such a good performance. Honestly, I was so impressed by him.
He was so good. We've got the president of the Lando Norris fan club with us, Thandie Sabanda.
Yes.
what are you saying? Did you enjoy your boy Lando's performance?
I did.
He's something else.
First of all, Lando was defending against Hamilton, yeah?
He was.
Which you never actually want that guy behind you. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit nerve-wracking. The defense was there.
You can ask Rosberg, you can ask Vettel. Vettel literally spins spontaneously when he sees Hamilton behind him.
And then he did the whole thing with Perez. Perez, we'll talk about Perez in a second.
I'm ready.
I'll get to Perez.
Because, okay. Lando is a living good driver. Lewis even said it in the radio. Did you hear him?
Yeah, he did.
Lando, excellent stuff. I saw at his end of interview, he had everyone coming up to him. George came up to him and was like, great driving. Because they know you got to take that humble pie. You got to swallow it, my darling. So yeah, very proud of him.
Nice.
I'm happy with his result. Can we get to the bums now, please?
Wait.
I'm ready.
He's ready to lay it on thick.
Your own start of the day. I wanted a couple of things to Lando. Interesting. Okay, maybe we could wrap this into the Perez chat, but I think he had some really interesting comments to make in his post-race interviews, and I liked his assertiveness, I guess. There is a maturity. I think in the past he would have maybe shied away from, calling out what he felt was wrong with the penalty that he got, but he was very forthright, not just in the Sky interview, but in the paddock interviews, and then in the driver's press conference afterwards, he kind of stuck to it. So there is a real maturity around Lando now. Paul di Resta keeps mentioning, I'm sorry to mention Paul di Resta's name.
That's a trigger word for me.
Honestly, every time, how is it that Martin Brundle and Ted Kravitz, are missing, are taking breaks, but PDR is working overtime?
He is putting in those hours. He's bagging that coin. And can I just say, it's a miracle that I have any followers on Twitter left, because I can't help myself. Whenever di Resta says anything, I pop off on Twitter and I lose it. But anyways, I digress.
I feel look, same. Look, I feel like they've got him on a 0-hour contract, and they're just like, bro, come in. The day before the race, you're in Austria, come through now. And he's like, he's got to get up and he's got to go. But it means they're in practice. He said, anyway, look, that's not the point. He keeps saying that Lando Norris has made a mistake in signing the multi-year contract extension with McLaren, and that he should have kept his options open because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. And look, maybe this was before Hamilton signed the contract, but I guess, Thandie, do you agree with that? And then I'll get your views on that, Tinus. Thandie, what do you...
I mean, I hate to be the person who says, yeah, I agree with Paul di Resta of all people.
Okay.
But I think the McLaren seat is where he belongs. You remember, guys, it did take me a good 2 weeks to kind of try to understand his decision, kind of look it out, and I think mind your damn business.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. So you don't agree with him?
No.
Okay, cool.
Good. Peace restored.
Okay. And then you went to list why you didn't agree with him. So no, for sure. I think I agree with you, Tinus. I guess you don't, but I guess is that can we all just safely say now, I guess, the way that McLaren is the quickest Mercedes car on the grid at the moment, is Lando in the right place, I guess,
I think so, 100%. I think even before he had the weekend that he had and that McLaren was as quick as it is, McLaren has been on an upwards trajectory now for 3 years.
Yeah.
Everything is in place now for that team to be at the front of the grid. I mean, they have Andreas Seidel, who is brilliant. I mean, CV is so incredible when it comes to, leading teams and developing teams. They have Seidel. Norris has now been there this is his third year. He's been growing up with that team, building along with the team.
Yeah.
You want that stability. You want that forward momentum. I thought it was a no-brainer when Lando signed for another couple of years because, I mean, we have the regulation change. McLaren has everything going for them to nail it next year.
Yeah.
And, I mean, why take the gamble? Why go to somebody like Mercedes? And at this point, given that we're going into new regs next year, McLaren has just as good a chance to do a good job as Mercedes has.
Yeah.
It's not like Mercedes has that same baked-in advantage that they had since 2014, where they can switch off development halfway through the year because they're so far ahead to start focusing on next year's car. So I think there's a bit of a fallacy going about to say that the Merc seat and the Red Bull seats are the ones to be in. At this point, you want to be in, if you can be in a McLaren seat, a Ferrari seat, a Merc seat, a Red Bull seat, quite frankly, an Alpine seat.
Yeah.
You're good to go. Mm-hmm. So I think Norris made 100% the right decision. And I think the probability of him going to a place like Mercedes or Red Bull was so small anyway, because they have their own programs. And really the earth needs to tilt off its axis before these teams say, you know what, we're not going to look internally after we spent millions and millions and millions of dollars getting these drivers up to speed. We're actually now going to throw all of that in the water and go look outside of our driver pool. If they have a George Russell waiting there, beautiful and prepared at Williams for 3 years, at the perfect temperature is coming out of the oven, they're going to drop him into that Mercedes.
Yeah.
So, no, Lando should stay where he is, and he's going to do a great job.
Okie dokie. I think that's fair enough.
That was so perfectly said.
So eloquently put.
Yeah.
What a great guy. Thandie, before I know you want to dig into some people, but is there anyone that you want to lavish praise on before we get into that? There's someone you've bought an open return for, but you still not.
I feel like praising that guy today. I feel like I've gassed a few of you Russell fans a bit too much.
Okay.
But he was holding his own. I do feel bad on him and what happened with Alonso.
It was a good battle.
He did his best, and it was a great battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good battle. It was a good one. Has George bought any points yet, guys?
No.
No, you're so savage. No points.
You know what?
I'm just asking, you know.
No, it's true.
He hasn't,
0
no?
points.
He's trying his best.
He is
single-handedly, how tall is he? With those little skinny arms.
Well, those little
he's
arms.
dragging that Williams. I don't even think you can call it a car.
No.
He's dragging that Williams construction around these racetracks through sheer force of will and determination into 11th place, 12th place, ahead of Ferraris and Alpines and Aston Martins and Alphas. Like, he deserves a bit of props for that.
Yeah, I think it's a fortnightly thing with the props with him.
okay.
I don't think I'm coming on Beyonce's
Too much props
internet.
last week.
Yeah,
Too much props last
Fair
week.
enough.
Okay,
I hear
cool.
it. Too much props.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Was anyone else? Let me have a look at the finishing order. What did you think of who else? Carlos Sainz finished in 6th place.
Fifth place. You actually took Perez with the penalties.
Yes, of course, he was in front of Perez. Carlos Sainz again, long stop strategy. I know you like Carlos Sainz, Thandie.
I do, yeah. I always say this, Carlos Sainz is a very good driver.
He is the most underrated driver. And it vexes me when people don't recognize it. He's 2 points behind Charles in a brand new Ferrari.
Yeah.
8 races in.
Mm-hmm.
Put respect on his name.
Put some respect on his name. I want gun horns for my guy. Yes.
Would you want to do some gunshots?
We want the
Yes.
gunshots. Yeah.
Put some respect on Carlos Sainz's name. I think he is great. The thing is, I would love Sainz to win a race now. I think Carlos Sainz needs a race win for people to start giving him the respect he deserves, because he's been doing what he's been doing now for how long? I feel like since he left, even when he was at Renault.
When he started, since his first season in F1, when he was driving alongside Max, people forget.
He was close.
He was just as quick as Max for the most part. He just got very, very unlucky when it came to reliability.
Yeah. And obviously he was against the golden child, so they were never going to promote him ahead of Max, and I think because of that he's had to kind of forge his own career. Fair play to him for not staying at Toro Rosso, and it could have been easy to kind of stay there, but he went to Renault, and then he's obviously at Renault it kind of looked like he nearly wasn't in a car. If he,
it was close.
He got booted out for Ricciardo, and luckily he managed to go to McLaren. At McLaren, he did an excellent job, and I think at Ferrari he is showing everyone how good he is. And I think for him to be respected as much as Charles, I feel like people won't do that for whatever reason. I think having a race win just gives you a little bit of extra kudos, because I guess. Who do you think is a better driver? This is a good one. Carlos Sainz or Pierre Gasly?
I'm ready for this. Huh? I'm sorry, Carlos all day, every day.
Is it Carlos, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Carlos.
You think Carlos? Okay.
The thing is, Pierre is doing great in the AlphaTauri, right? Let's give him the props for that.
Yeah.
But he still had whatever happened at Red Bull. I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
Like that... Carlos has now been in a Toro Rosso, a Renault, a McLaren, and in a Ferrari, and he's been great at all of them. He's literally been able to do well in all four of those different cars, different teams, different setups, sometimes just with a year gap in between, right?
Yeah.
And Pierre couldn't get that Red Bull to work for him.
Very true. And Pierre's got a win. So let's go to someone else's head.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that win comes with like 4 caveats, like 4 asterisks next to it. Like, yes, you got the win, congratulations. But we all know who was actually supposed to win that race after Lewis's penalty.
Carlos Sainz.
Carlos Sainz, yes. He was actually supposed to win that race.
Yeah.
And I have one last thought on Carlos, then I'll
for sure.
But I mean,
I love it.
And I think Lando also said it recently, is how well Carlos did against Lando. And we all see now this year how good Lando is.
Yeah.
A bit out of Carlos's context, if I can put it like that. Carlos proper beat him in the points for 2 years in a row. Qualifying was like this, right? It was like incredibly close both years. And we saw how amazing Lando is now over one lap again. And then in the race, Carlos was just amazing. Like, you forget how good he was at McLaren, especially in the second half of last year.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised at all that he's cutting Charles this close. Like, I think it just makes a lot of sense to me.
Underrated driver.
Quickly, do you think he's better than Charles Leclerc?
I think he's not as fast.
Okay.
I think when it comes to pure, like, one guy to qualify for your life, you're going to pick Charles. But I think at this point, because we see Charles is like, I mean, he's going through the most during the races. But I think if you want someone to fight for your world championship title today, I'll pick Carlos. I think Carlos over a season is going to make it happen. He's not going to get on pole every time, but he's going to make that race work for him every single Sunday. That's my opinion. And it might be controversial because people love Charles, and I think he's a brilliant driver and he's incredibly fast. But Carlos I don't know. I just think he's so underrated and he's so good. He's like, you know how Fernando Alonso loves to be humble about himself, and he says,
Fernando is humble.
Not. Yes, he said this. He said this, and he said, I am not a 10 out of 10 in any facet of driving, but I'm a 9.5 out of 10 in everything.
Fair play.
I think that is what Carlos is. He's not a 10 out of 10 in anything, but he's good at everything.
Yeah, nice. I like it. Thandie, what do you think?
On the question of if he is better than Charles, all I'm going to say is he's just not as lucky. That man has a lot of luck behind him.
Yeah, I wish I brought tea with me. Should have boiled the kettle.
gonna give this a gun. I'm gonna give the horns for that one because there's.
Show me the lies.
Look, I don't think you're lying. And you know what? Let's get into. Speaking of luck, let's get into the donkey of the day. Thandie, I'll start with you because you were so keen. Who did you want to lambast? Who wasn't doing it for you?
Perez.
I love the preparation there. She was like,
Perez, okay.
Yeah.
I thought his driving was janky. That's the word I'm using, janky. That was very janky driving. Janky.
Yeah.
It was reckless.
Yeah.
It was poor.
Yeah.
It was destructive to other drivers.
Yes. Tell him.
And I don't expect that from a man who's driving the fastest car. That's what.
A man with children.
A man with children. We've seen your children all weekend.
Yeah.
What does your children think, Sergio?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's true.
For that, I normally like Sergio, I give you love and I didn't want to do this.
Yeah.
But that was janky driving, my friend. I don't want to see it ever again.
No, look, I don't think Sergio wants to see that ever again, to be honest.
He even said that's not the way I like to race. He knew it was rubbish.
Yeah.
He should be more conservative behind Norris. He had the pace, whatever. But janky.
Okay, I'm going to bring a new feature to the show. It's going to be called the Court of Quick Stop. Right, here we go.
Court is in session.
Court is in session. Order. Court is in session. Okay. First case. Lando Norris versus Sergio Perez on the outside of turn 4. We have Sergio Perez going around the outside of Lando Norris, I think after the safety car restart. They're side by side, pretty much. Lando squeezes him onto the outside. Perez goes into the gravel and loses loads of places. Gentlemen and ladies of the jury, what are your findings?
Shall I go first? Thandie, go first.
Okay. I hereby find this man guilty for the crimes of janky driving. Okay. I'll let Tinus take it.
Okay, so I'm preparing myself, right?
Okay.
Because I feel I'm going to get backlash for this, but I will stick to my guns.
Okay.
In the current rule, the framework of rules that we have in Formula One, the penalty was what I think Lando should have gotten a penalty. We're talking about that case now. Now, Lando should have gotten a penalty, and my reason for it being, so everybody went off, all of the drivers, and everyone's like, no, but it's not real racing and it's not fair. But in karting, you can't go around the outside, otherwise you go in the gravel. It's not karting. Let's just establish that, right? So that's the first thing. There's a whole separate rule book for Formula One compared to karting. And in my mind, it comes down to who was ahead or not ahead after the braking zone. It's as simple as that. Perez, to his credit, was later on the brakes than Lando. And he was completely alongside Lando at the end of the braking zone, i.e. the two front wheels were literally next to each other.
Yeah.
At that point, the car is, and the phrase I think that they use is wholly alongside.
Yeah.
Right? And if a car is wholly alongside, you need to leave a car's width and you need to give racing room. And Lando didn't. I think if Lando was fractionally more ahead in that corner than what he was, I would have agreed with him wholeheartedly. I would have said, yes, Perez was behind. He should have ducked out and he should have lived to see a fight another day. But Perez was alongside. So give him the space. At that point, you weren't aggressive enough on the brakes in your defending. You can't just, and because what vexes me about what people are saying. Saying, no, but you can't, if you go on the outside, that's the risk you're taking. What that then means is whenever you're defending, right? Just park your car on the inside
and then
be as late on the brakes as you want. Just block off the corner and you will always get away with it. There's nothing that the driver on the outside can do. Like,
I hear that.
So that's why I'm saying you need to actually look at it from a case-by-case basis and check which car is ahead and relative to each other, who is ahead and who isn't. Because if the car on the inside is ahead, yes, 100% his corner, he can do whatever he wants. If the car on the outside is wholly alongside, I'm sorry, Lando, you need to give him space. Perez was braver on the brakes than you were. That's my view with this. I think that's what the rules are saying.
Wow. We've got
is this man guilty or not?
Well, we've got a hung jury, but as I am the judge, I am going to... I'm going to say Perez is definitely guilty of some janky driving, but Lando is guilty in the eyes of the FIA. You know what? What I would say is, I'm actually going to put these glasses on, so I look.
Put the glasses on.
For extra status and gravitas.
These are absolutely clear glasses that I'm putting on. They offer no medicinal value.
You can see the fourth dimension with those.
So I would say that I think you're right, Tinus, in that they were alongside each other, and I think what people are annoyed about is that a couple of years ago, Verstappen did something similar to Charles at the same place, and they were so scared after what happened in Canada and giving Vettel a penalty for coming back onto track, they kind of fannied out of making a decision, and they didn't give him a penalty. So people are saying, you've had instances where that's happened, but why is this now a penalty? But I think you're right. He's kind of run him off the road there, and as much as Perez, what Perez should have done was be patient. But I guess with what we know now, would he have had the pace to get past Lando Norris? Probably not. So Lando, unfortunately, he's ruined his own race there by putting him out there, and Perez has obviously ruined his race by doing it. So no one wins there. But Perez had a couple of other incidents in the race, so
driving,
causing session. I guess we'll just quickly on the case of Perez versus Leclerc on both occasions. I guess knowing what we know about the Lando kind of incident, I don't know why. Lex, I just okay. He's guilty, by the way. I'm not even going to put this in court. He's guilty, but I don't understand. You yourself got run out, and the person who ran you out got
a penalty.
Take a penalty.
Yeah,
you do it one time.
The worst part. Yeah. At least Lando ran Perez out wide elegantly. He did a good job of it. Yeah. With Leclerc, Perez was all up in Leclerc's business, hitting him from the side. Couldn't even do that properly. So janky driving.
100%. Thandie, I guess were these incidents? Were these the janky incidents? I guess that resulted in
him being definitely. And I think these aren't. This isn't regular for Perez. Do you know what I mean? This is hopefully a one-off incident. But what I'm saying is, I don't want to see that again. Because what on earth?
It was bad. What I would say is, Perez is back in the day with him and Ocon, they come together a couple of times, and those times when they come together. If
you want to vex me, you bring up Perez versus Ocon. There was a thread. I don't know if you guys saw, but there's a thread on Twitter today.
Oh, really?
And I literally typed out this long of an essay, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm a bigger person. We've grown since 2018. I will not say anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I can remember in Baku. I can remember Perez. That was Perez's fault. I can remember in Spa, that was Perez's fault. Singapore, that was Perez. I can remember Perez nearly putting Gasly in the wall in 2019 in Spa, but luckily Gasly got through. So all I can say is I hope that Perez isn't under pressure at any point this season again like he was yesterday, because like you say, Thandie, we don't want to see that again, man. That is just bad. If Mazepin's doing that, we're doing like thread after thread about how he's...
Mazepin did nothing. Like, he didn't spin out. Mazepin was on his best behaviour this last race.
Yeah, but remember, I don't think he was slow enough to actually fast enough, to generate enough force to result in a spin.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, look, they're just all leaning into that now. They're just starting to make money out of it, which is peak capitalism. But look, we are following the most capitalistic sport in the world. Let's move on from Perez because he was bad. But do you have a donkey of the day, Tinus?
Right, so I was ready to go off at Ocon.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Because qualifying the last couple of races I love Ocon, right? I'm one of the 4 people on planet Earth that support Esteban Ocon. And I'm very proud of it. But what was going on in qualifying was not what we want as Ocon supporters, until I saw a little excerpt of the telemetry after qualifying, where all of a sudden we saw Ocon was losing gang time on the straights. Now, don't know why that would be. Sounds like Renault are confused or Alpine is confused about it. But so then I was like, okay, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. This
race, and then let's see Silverstone what happens. So, and then luckily somebody else came to Ocon's rescue as the biggest donkey of the day.
Yeah.
And his name is Yuki Tsunoda, because how, as you know, you claim yourself to be one of the 20 best drivers in the world, right? And you get penalized for driving over a white line going into the pits, right? But luckily, his tire strategy meant that he was on a 2-stop race, which meant he had a chance of redemption, right? He could show the world, the watching world, that he knows how to drive into the pit lane properly at the Austrian racetrack. But what does he do?
He does it again, mate.
He does
it again.
How do you?
He does it again.
Get a 5-second penalty for doing something that dumb, and then do it again 30 minutes after. I couldn't believe it.
It's crazy.
So he's my donkey of the day just for that, because I was just shocked.
He's honestly like a toddler that you have to just keep watching to make sure he doesn't stick his fingers into like a plug.
Yeah. Not eating something.
You gotta be like, what's in your mouth? Open your mouth. Oh, Yuki.
And I want to like him so much.
Yeah.
But he's just doing silly things, and he must just get his ducks in a row.
I know, Helmut Marko.
I felt that goodness, Tinus. That was...
Yeah. Who said it? I can't remember who it was that they were talking to at the weekend. Oh, no. So they were talking to the Red Bull Junior drivers.
Oh, yeah.
Karen had a feature with the Red Bull Junior drivers. And he was like, do you talk to Helmut Marko much? And they're like, if you just have like a normal race, then you won't hear from him. But like, if you win, or if you make like a bad mistake, like he'll call you. And like, I just thought as soon as the Yuki got the second penalty, I was like, he must have, I think he already said like Helmut Marko, he doesn't want to give him any, doesn't want to make any more silly mistakes. And I was like, wow, Helmut Marko is going to go to town on you. At the Red Bull ring, you're getting 2 penalties. I've never even seen a man get a penalty for going into the pit lane. Out of the pit lane, sure. Going into the pit lane.
It happens now and then, right? But it's like, you really need to try to mess that up.
Yeah.
Right? And then the fact that he did it twice in the same race, after having raced there the week before.
Yeah.
I was just...
That is what we call a schoolboy error, though.
Correct.
That is
100%.
Schoolboy error. Yeah.
Do you guys think he'll be there next season?
Yeah.
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 I think so. He's the promised child. His helmet's new Max.
And they need the diversity.
I love it. Red Bull diversity. That is Yuki.
That's the first thing I think about. When I think about the Red Bull Racing Formula One team, the first word that pops into my head is diversity.
But what's the diversity? Let's just take a look. No, look.
Anyway.
I hope he sorts it out. Otherwise, I feel like he might get kicked out halfway through next season. To be honest, if he does make it to the end of, if he does make it to next season, which he will, I feel like they want to keep Honda sweet, and obviously, they want to get as much information out of Honda whilst they do this transition over into making their own engine. So, I think he'll keep him, but it's a shame because there's some really good junior drivers in the Red Bull program, and
they're coming. That's why Yuki can't keep on doing this, because there are 3 juniors in F2 that are doing very well.
Really well, yeah, exactly.
They've literally turned the stove on. Yuki,
the heat's
on now.
And I feel like he's someone where the more pressure's on him, the more mistakes he'll make. That's what it feels like. So I hope he sorts out. Like I say, it is a weekend where he just has his ducks in a row and he does well, because it's not good enough at the moment. My donkey of the day is Kimi, Matthias, Raikkonen.
You know his middle name.
Yeah.
It's his Instagram handle.
Yeah.
Have you not seen his Instagram?
No, I don't follow that uncle.
He's on Instagram. He just does little photos with like
one word captions.
Line.
Really?
Yeah, it's all right. It's it's pretty cool. But big man, it's time to go. Like you have got to go now. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you're getting beaten by Giovinazzi now. Like, you are so old. Like, just let someone else come through. I'm sorry. Like, and like that thing there, yeah. I love getting a Vettel. So even me, I was like, did Vettel move over there? Did he do a little Brazil 2019 thing? But no, Vettel was just driving past him, and Raikkonen it's almost like, you know what? Yeah, I'll give some information out right now. When I first started driving, I thought I was a big man. I'm a big man. Cool. I'm there. I've not got Bluetooth in my car. I've got the aux cable, so I'm there. I'm in traffic. I'm like, let me change the tune. I'm changing the tune. I'm looking at the traffic, changing the tune, and then I crashed into the car in front of me. Right, going about 10 miles per hour. Right, like, just a little fender bender. But Kimi Raikkonen yesterday, that accident was like he was looking at his phone, bruv. Because there's no way that this guy could have been driving with his eyes open and not see a car in front of him and then just drive into him. It was crazy. And like, it could have been a lot worse than it was. It was a pretty high-speed accident. And I just think it's symptomatic of a driver who says F1 is his hobby. There's Ferrari junior drivers that could come through that program and enjoy that seat. And I just think, you've had a great career. You're a world champion. You've driven for Ferrari twice, McLaren. You've got some amazing race wins in there.
Mick should be in that seat.
Mick should be in that seat.
Poor old Callum Island live doing the post-race show with Will Buxton every week.
Yeah, like,
he should be in that seat.
He should be. Yeah. Please release him from that purgatory, bruv. Like, so I just think, he's got shares in Alfa Romeo that Ferrari gave him as part of his severance package.
I think he has Fred versus nudes. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Look, there you go. That is the that is the team that we've got here. He's definitely got something. But yeah, I hope this is Kimi Raikkonen's last season, because we've been seeing him going out sad now for like God knows how long. And I just think it's time to move on. Any thoughts on Raikkonen? I know I just went off on him, but I
couldn't have said it better.
Yeah,
Grandad needs his glasses fixed.
Yeah,
eyesight's going a bit.
Do you know what I mean? He needs to report his eyesight to the DVLA, and then
Oh, get a hobby.
Get a hobby. Get a hobby. This is your favorite instruction. Get a hobby.
Yeah.
For sure, no. Raikkonen is my donkey of the day. So let me have a look at the finishing order. There really isn't much else to say. Daniel Ricciardo recovered well to 7th. Just needs to qualify well, and I think will. Look, his race pace makes me feel more comfortable that he'll sort it out.
It does, but he was still between half a second and a second slower than Lando, I felt. Like in that part of the stint we had clean air and he was defending from the Ferraris. Like the Ferraris were quicker than what Daniel was. Charles was stalking him for like 20 laps and he couldn't overtake, and then they let Carlos loose, and then Carlos got past.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look at Lando, who finished 1.5 seconds behind Valtteri, I think with pace like that, Daniel should have been much further up the road.
Of course,
in my opinion.
I think a lot of people are saying. Someone commented actually when we were doing the show on your channel that Daniel always second half of the season, like when he moved to Renault after the second half, he picked it up, and
that's true.
And so I think maybe it does take him a bit longer. You know, and also he was against Hulkenberg, who, you know, no disrespect to Hulkenberg, is in Lando Norris. So I guess
Lando has podiums, so
yeah, and Hulkenberg does not. Does not. So we'll see with Daniel. I'm gonna lay off him, but let's just say I've given up. Like wishing for him to get better, and I'm just gonna wait for it. Like I'm not gonna actively will it on anymore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait for it. And
just gonna wait.
When it turns up, it'll turn up.
I want to put it to you guys. Imagine a world, right? Let's say 2022, where we have Lando and Daniel operating at the peak of their powers at McLaren. We have Charles and Carlos operating at the peak of their powers in Ferrari. We have Lewis and George operating at the peak of their powers at Mercedes. And then we have Max Verstappen and whoever is in the second seat operating at the peak of their powers, hopefully in the Red Bull. Who would not want to see that? Like, I want to see Daniel Ricciardo get up to speed, because just the battles that we can see, just even with Ferrari this year.
And have his
so
glory.
Amazing to watch.
Yeah. So many people who don't know how good Daniel can be have been talking bad on my guy's name. And it's like, no, just give him a chance. Like, can you show these people who the hell the honey badger is?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
100%. You're right. And I think F1 is a better product when Daniel Ricciardo is doing well, you know.
Yeah.
And when you've got the results to go with the personality, you know, that is, you know, he is a superstar. Probably, you know, I guess I would have said, before Lando this season, but, you know, I guess between him, Lando, and Leclerc, I guess you've got three kind of drivers there who are like super popular. You know, with I guess especially like the younger fans, and I think it would be really good. I'm not looking forward to Drive to Survive this season because his storyline is going to be depressing. Oh my god! But hopefully it's not too bad, guys. We're all content creators. We all need an absolute break after this triple header. But
triple, it was quad. No, it's triple in it.
It was a triple header, and then before that we had Baku. So what I was going to say was British Grand Prix coming up. What do you guys think is going to happen? What are your predictions?
It's not coming home for Mercedes.
Oh yeah, you were saying this is your theory. It's not coming home for Lewis or Mercedes at Silverstone.
It's not coming home.
I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be closer than what it is in Austria.
Of course, yeah.
But it's not going to... I agree, it's not coming home.
It's not coming home.
No.
It is not coming home. And
on that thought.
Is it too late? Is it too late to switch sides and become like a Max stan? What I gotta do? Be aggressive?
Yeah,
we
we're
got
gonna
dress in orange perpetually
Yeah.
and use an exorbitant amount of lion emoji.
Yeah.
Like literally, that emoji is never used other than to indicate that you like Max.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all you gotta do is I get a picture of Max as your profile picture, or have a picture where they can't see your face as your profile picture, and then just roll around Twitter going on the Lewis Hamilton fans posts, starting arguments, and just be like, well, Lewis isn't in the fastest car anymore. And just do that. Anytime you see Lewis Hamilton fans just existing,
this
just
is what's
pop in.
wrong with Lewis fans.
And then be like, Max Verstappen, and then you'll be a really good Verstappen fan. And
you
look,
can only count in multiples of 33.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, just if you want to just stick in some casual racism in there as well, just for extra effect, just in case. If you want to be like a real hardcore one, but obviously that's not all of you. It's just some of you, but some of you do that.
It's not all of y'all.
Look, guys, Tinus, thank you so much for coming on the show. Where can guys find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they see your excellent content?
Oh,
all of that
excellent even. Sure. I'm honored. Well, firstly, thank you for having me. I had the best time, honestly. It was a lot of fun. They can find me on YouTube. I am the TF1 show on YouTube. So I'm on there. I do a lot of random things. I do race recaps as well. Nyasha was on a week ago. And I do just sort of general videos about Formula One. And then I also do random parody songs. Don't ask me why, but it's something that I do. So that's also on there. And I guess sort of my podcast is also on Apple and Spotify and all of those wonderful apps. You can just go look for it there. It's the TF1 show.
We love
listen to me ramble on. Oh, thank you.
Much appreciated. Thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it. This has been a lovely episode. We're gonna skedaddle. Thandie, any last words?
It's not coming home.
It's not coming home. Oh dear.
She took the knife and she was like,
yeah.
Making sure, like that Simpsons meme. He's already dead.
Yeah.
That applies.
Yeah,
I love it.
Well, thanks, Thandie. And on that bombshell, we will leave you. We will see you after the Grand Prix in Britain, Silverstone, and make sure you're following us. Subscribe to the channel. We've hit 200 subscribers. I can't remember if we did that after the last one or this one, but we did it. We did 200 subscribers, bro. Thank you so much to all our subscribers. We can't believe it. So keep subscribing, keep rating us on Apple, give us a 5-star review, and follow us on Spotify and all of that. Thank you so much if you got this far. We love you. We're off. Toodle pip. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.